I'm gonna bring up the sexual nudity and sexual content part of the guidelines, and then I'm gonna bring up the blog post of the guidelines, right? Because there's two of these things. So I want to go over them slowly because I feel like that will help people understand what the hell we're looking at here. There we go. So we have the first one, which I believe is okay. No, this is the first one. This is the blog post. So they were stating here that in January, our global vice president of trust and safety, Ms. Hessian, shared that we are in the process of evaluating our community guidelines with eye towards charity, clarity, and consistency. Blah 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 blah. That's a lot of fluff for the first paragraph. Sexual content is a complex topic as cultural norms and opinions about what we should and should not be permitted on our service vary widely. Given this, we want to ensure that we are being thoughtful and thorough in our approach, and this takes time. We're still working through how our sexual content policy will change and share more in the coming months. Which, it's weird. I want to see what they share because, let's be honest here, it's for the most part, it hasn't really been super transparent, and I have not been enjoying what Twitch has been like. I haven't been picking up what Twitch has been throwing down, and it hasn't really been fun for me, to say the least. Like, I haven't really had fun with it. Nobody's had fun with it. None of us had understood what the hell was going on with Twitch because there's a lot of disparity and a lot of discrepancy when we talk about these things, right? There's not a lot of information when it comes to talking about nudity, sexual content, stuff like this. And we've all seen firsthand what Twitch is capable of when it comes to these sorts of things. So, better defining their sexually explicit content. Sorry, coffee. Today we have clarified what we consider to be sexually explicit. Sexually explicit has always side content has always been prohibited, so this is not a change to the policy or how it's been enforced. That being said, under its current categorization, it didn't feel appropriate or accurate as there's a distinct difference between content that is sexually explicit or content that is violent and exploitative. In addition to separating it, we have added more examples to clearly explain the definition. This isn't the first time because we've addressed it as related to hot tub streams, the pools, hot tubs, and beaches category, which it was so weird that they immediately, like, I'm not gonna say, there's no pat on the back here for Twitch for that because the response to it was just so half-assed when that first happened. So yeah, that response was so half-assed that I couldn't like deal with it. And I know a lot of people had that issue. Like, and full stop, I want to kind of like say my piece on the matter where I stand with it. I don't care about, sexually explicit or sexually suggestive guidelines, stuff like that, right? How I feel about it is that I wish that Twitch was concise. I wish they were concise and I wish they were consistent because if there's anything I know that Twitch lacks, it is consistency. And while others will suffer at the hands of their rules word for word, as opposed to, say, their bigger pullers who don't do so, where there should be an equal ground for everybody. And when we had an uptick of people suddenly dressing around in swimwear and very skimpy clothing, be it male or female, they immediately male, female, non-binary, etc. There was a sudden there was a sudden like urge in people being like, what the hell is going on here? What is this? Right? So that was incredibly weird on their end, and when that happened, they were what's the word I'm looking for? They were kind of like hazy on the whole thing. And then they were just like, okay, instead of talking about it with everybody, instead of like saying, yeah, you know, we hear you, they kind of just went dark. They went dark for a bit on the situation. They continued on like nothing was happening. And then a few days, like I think like a week or so later, they added the hot tubs, beaches, and pools category, which was like okay, but at the same time, it was just like you could have said something, make up your mind, you know, like it was so strange. It was like, why would you even bother doing all of that? So, yeah, the conversation centered around the subjectivity of the term suggestiveness and how it should and shouldn't be applied. Although the clarification we're issuing today does not resolve these concerns, to nobody's surprise, we want to assure you that using the feedback, we are here to help guide the development of the broader policy. So, we hope this new language adds a little more clarity around our expectations, and we look forward to sharing more on the topic in the months ahead. We appreciate your patience as we work through this complex topic. It's not really that complex. We just people want clarity. So that's what people are trying to aim here for. They're trying to aim for clarity. We don't have clarity. So moving forward, this is the actual set of rules that they input. Right? So now we're in the thick of it. The meat. Meat, if they want to say yes. The meat. Like hold on. I just realized that I'm still on another person's chat room and not mine, which was very interesting for that, right? Oh, I'm still on another person's chat room. Crazy. All right, let's actually get to mine. I was just like, why is it not showing me anything? So, anyhow, because like, so if you guys were all talking, I apologize because I had to actually look at my chat bot just in case because it wasn't showing me anything. But moving forward, we're gonna keep talking. Also, keep in mind if you don't want to say anything, there is a lurk, and it will acknowledge. It would actually let me know that you're lurking, and I'll still, you know, I'll let you know that hey, you know, thank you for lurking. I appreciate you. So, moving forward, right? This is their actual guidelines. So, sexual violence and exploitation. Sexual violence and exploitation are strictly prohibited and may be reported to law enforcement. Examples include, but are not limited to, sexual assault and molestation, or content that encourages or promotes it. That doesn't directly concern us because it's just what if you're a VTuber, this doesn't concern us, right? This doesn't concern us. We're digital. We're digital unless, you know, VR chat is a thing, and I guess that can also sort of be a thing because like if you see like there's Twitter drama and some of it does involve VR chat, so I guess that can definitely work under certain rules and guidelines if people are being stupid and streaming that. Sharing or threatening to share sexually suggestive or explicit content, audio or visual without permission of the person depicted, including revenge porn. This is Discord specific. So if you're a VTuber and you do 18 plus content, you have a Fansly, you have an OnlyFans, etc., etc. You should, if you have your stuff behind a paywall, this will more than likely apply to you. So if somebody has access to this stuff or somehow manages to get access to it, be of their own volition and or otherwise, and starts sharing it, you can let them know. Twitch does take action on streamers that do this to you outside of streams. Like, people think that, you know, because I am a streamer and I decide to do this shit outside of Twitch, I'm not subject to being banned off Twitch. Correction. Absolute correction. Right? I just want to state that for the record. Let me get rid of the animated camera box real quick because I want people to understand this. Like, that is an absolute correction. Because why? You are subject to this shit. Don't do this shit. Right? If you, be it male, female, non-binary, it does not matter. If you do this shit, don't do it. Simple shit, right? Simple enough? Cool. Right? I'm glad we're here. I'm glad we understand that. Moving forward. Now, we are on the topic of unsolicited offers, solicitation, demands, bribes, or blackmail for sexual content and services. This, once again, still applies to VTubers. How does this apply to VTubers? Simple put. Like I said previously, if you have an OnlyFans, a Fansly, an IRL thing that you promote, you also, this goes both ways. I should probably say this immediately. Don't fake this. Don't fake this shit. Right? Don't fake this shit. I'm very serious when I mention this. Do not fake this shit. If you're gonna come out and say some shit like this, or this happens, have fucking proof. Right? And I know a lot of people don't do that, but I'm gonna be very specific. Have proof when this shit happens to you, because you're going to need it. As a streamer and as a content creator, you're going to need that proof. Even if it happens not on Twitch, people are still subject. People who stream are still subject to things out of Twitch. Right? I want that to be known. People who stream, I'm going to say this again. People who stream are subject to things off of Twitch if they stream on Twitch. Point blank, period. Cool. That being said, if somebody does this, you can report it to Twitch, and Twitch may or may not report it to law enforcement or take the necessary steps to do this. If you are a VTuber, it is most important that, since you are not doing a lot of IRL content, or if you do and you mix it in between, cover your ass. Right? It's not that hard. I think we can all do that. I think we can all agree to that. Cover your ass, avoid trouble, all of that. Right? If you cover your ass, no trouble, no hassle. So, with that being said, any nudity, sexual content, and sexual violence or sexual exploitation that involves minors, appears to involve minors, or depictions of minors that encourages or promotes pedophilia. This one is always a touchy subject, right? This one's always a touchy subject for people, because people are like, oh, and this, I'm gonna be very honest with you. There's always people who say so and so will laugh at you for X amount of thing, but I'm gonna be very honest with you. This includes lollies. I'm not even gonna fucking front. No sexual exploitation of lollies, nothing like that. No Shotacon, no Lollycon, none of that. If you have works that are derivative and feature any of these works and you decide to stream it on Twitch, you're probably gonna get banned. I'm not even gonna fucking hold you. Whether or not Twitch decides to contact your law enforcement, that is also up to them, right? Because I'll be honest with you, I normally deal with North America stuff, and in North America, specifically the United States, child porn is still against the law. Lolly Shota is still against the law, right? I'm gonna be very, very honest with that. I don't care what the hell you guys do, personally. Don't bring that shit around me. That's just how I feel, right? But that also means quit being vocal about it. And if people really wanted to get on your case and people found out you stream, they could have reported you to Twitch and just be like, hey, this person does this, right? You know, and all Twitch just has to do is take one good look at your socials and they can nuke you on the spot. No cap, right? That's how serious this stuff is. Like, people don't understand. If people wanted to be more militant and Twitch decided to be more militant with like how they feel about certain things, they could. But we're keeping it strictly to your content and what you create. So with that being said, if you are a VTuber or a yeah, if you're a VTuber that or a PNG tuber that has a lolly or a Shota avatar, for the love of everything, don't if you're the type of person who does not get wholesome content of your character, but instead gets lewd content of your character, please do not show that shit in public. Right? Do not show that shit in public. It gets you in trouble. Do not show that shit on Twitch. You will probably get suspended and or banned. And it goes without saying that if Twitch really wanted to, they could talk to your local law enforcement. Because if you're an affiliate, they know where you live. And if you sign up for Twitch, they probably know where you live. Because you have to sign up for those sort of things when you do that. They have access to those things. They can let your local law enforcement know. So, yeah, no 18 plus shit of of minors or lolly shota or any of that stuff, because it encourages pedophilia. So no 18 plus nonsense of that. I know it sounds really weird for me to continuously go over that point, but I need to be concise, because if I don't, people don't understand. Now, sexually explicit in content and sexual services. This is like the bread and butter of like almost anything VTuber related. If we know ourselves, right? Users are prohibited from broadcasting, uploading, soliciting, offering, and linking to pornographic and or sexually explicit content, and from offering or soliciting any sexual content in exchange for money, services, or items of value. This includes, but is not limited to, explicit, simulated, or implied oral, anal, and vaginal sex, including prolonged audio that implies sex, masturbation, orgasms, such as clear moaning and grunting. This thing right here, right? Can you see my? Okay, yeah, you can. So this right here, this was what had Twitter in a shitstorm recently, and I was just like, "There's no fucking way. There is no way y'all can be up in arms about this." Because they were like, "Oh no, this means I can't say ara ara in stream," and I'm like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Are you absolutely kidding me? Are you trying to tell me that you can't do these things?" I need to understand. I need you to understand that this is not what it means. Whether you be a weeb or just someone who doesn't know. Ara ara is like that motherly my oh my in Japanese, right? You can say it in a moaning tone, because that doesn't imply sex. It doesn't imply masturbation. It doesn't imply orgasm. It just means, oh my, right? You can imply it as in, oh my, as in, ara ara, or ara ara. Like, that's, that's straight up, not implying sex at all. It's my oh my. Like, it's like my or my oh my in Japanese. But I already said that I'm gonna probably have a thing in the future anyway where I don't do any RRs for people, or if people are that concerned, you do awa awa, because people like sounding like that, so awa, because that's a thing, right? But for me, I already told myself it's delinquent summer. To all 2022 male VTubers, if you're in the chat, we don't RRR for anybody anymore. We ora or ora. We do that, right? I want to hear ora, right? We gotta like invest in our manly selves. Gotta put that on for people. You gotta let them know, right? Oh my god, I am angry. But yes, I'm gonna have my eyes glow because it's one of those days, right? Do I actually want light? Cause, yeah, let's do that. I want to turn down the intensity a little bit, right? I want to address y'all in the shadows, let them know. I want people to understand. I'm not here. So I got a little dark But for all intents and purposes, our aura is not intentionally sexual. It's not inherently sexual in any sort of way. We know what this means if you are a VTuber. And I expect my VTuber friends to have a microcosm of sense when it comes to talking about these sorts of things. I can trust you for that, can't I? Good. I don't really have to talk too much about it. So, moving forward, right? We're gonna do a bit more talking about that. So, here we are at explicit, simulated, or implied self of mutual masturbation, including groping, caressing, or caressing of the genitals. So this means no boob grabs on stream. None of your avatars doing boob grabs. No fan art of you doing boob grabs. Nothing of that. No rewards for boob grabs. Something like that. No grabbing butts. No, none of that. I know some people have like the Among Us twerk. I guess that's fine because it's very PG, right? Like people have the Among Us PG as like the Among Us GIF as an emote or as like a little prop redeem. That's fine, right? Because it doesn't show cheeks, it doesn't show booty, it's covered, right? And also, I don't know, Twitch is into like Among Us and stuff like that, so I guess it's fine. So, display of sexual bodily fluids. I don't need to really say anything on that one. That one, we don't really have to go too deep into that because obviously we know what that means. We all know what that means. Also, hi Discord. Oh God, why would y'all summon me for Apex now? I'll probably switch to Apex afterwards, or I'll probably hop into Chick stream afterwards because they're gonna probably be doing that. So, phone sex, chat sex, or otherwise engaging with other person's chats to create sexual content. This means no more sexual ASMR streams. That's just what it is. I'm sorry, folks. Twitch knows what they want to do. Twitch knows exactly what they want, and that means no sexual ASMR streams. So that's just cut and dry. Advertisement or solicitation of sexual services, including prostitution, export services, sexual massages, or film sexual activity. Back to that way earlier thing I said. All the 18 plus content you probably do on your Discord, whether featuring your IRL self or fan art of your VTuber or something like that, not on stream. And no advertisements about it on Twitch, no showing it on Twitch, no links to it on Twitch. To avoid all of that. Because, you can nuke your VODs, but remember that Twitch has a server and they do keep your shit for a certain amount of time. So they know this. They have your chat. They have the chat logs. Do not think you can hide. Twitch will find you. They're like the FBI agent, except for your streams. They can't see into your camera. They can only see into your past videos. That's about it. But need I say more? They don't do it. Just don't do any of that. If you want to do all that, do all that on Twitter. Just link people to your Twitter. And from your Twitter, link them to your 18 plus content. Or link them to your 18 plus Discord. Or do all of that. If you're going to link people to your Discord, let them know in your Discord that there is 18 plus content and you will not have access to it unless, etc. But, or you let them know that this is a mature Discord and, you screen people. But other than that, no OnlyFans, no Fansly, no Chatterbait, nothing like that. None of that nonsense. All of your 18 plus pictures and suggestiveness, leave that off of Twitch. Okay. Broadcasting in areas where nudity and sexual activity may be taking place. But I'm just going to say and or because a lot of the times when they say or, they mean and or, which means not one or the other, both of It's one, the other, or both. So Twitch, if you're listening or you're looking, take notes. Make sure you're as concise as possible because this is exactly how people try to create loopholes. Um, so, like I was saying, broadcasting in areas where nudity or sexual activity may be taking place, even if such content or activity is not at the direction of the broadcaster or takes place in the background of the broadcast, is prohibited. So, if you're at a party and you do an IRL stream, do not Trick Daddy at the worst timing. Anyway, so yeah, no, if you know that there's gonna be sex at this party and you're near it, don't be near it, right? It's just that simple. Just don't be near it. Also, Terry Rice, thank you for the raid of 3. Right, I appreciate you. I'm just going over Twitch's ToS and stuff before I join some friends for a game of Apex and what this means to VTubers. So, while users may not directly link to pornographic or sexually explicit content in their broadcast, profile, or chat, or users will not be penalized to linking to their personal websites or social media pages that may contain these links. See? All you have to do is not do that. And look at that. You avoid the problem altogether, right? This is what I was mentioning. You avoid the problem altogether by simply just not linking to it. So also I have to like open up this bot again because the bot's not fully doing everything. There. So bot's open. I appreciate you for popping in. How was League actually? So hold on. I forgot that I have 2 commands, so I have to turn off one of them because like I have 2 commands. But I will fix that. Actually, I can fix it right now. Nah, I really think about it. Command da 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 da. Here we go. And now it's turned off. But yeah. So I'm glad that you had fun with League. Hopefully it went well. But yeah, like I just mentioned before, you won't be penalized if you link to if you do literally proxy links. So essentially saying, go to my Twitter, and then your Twitter says, hey, I have this content here, go do this. I'm glad you had fun. I'm glad you had fun. That's what we like to hear. That's what we like to see. Fun. I got coffee. And I found a bag of coffee that I thought I had no more of. So win-win on my end. So, sexually suggestive content. Man, here we go. This is the other one for VTubers, if you don't know this one. So, to maintain the health of our community, promote effort, blah, 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 for a diverse audience, sexually suggestive content is prohibited on Twitch. Evaluations on the sexual suggestiveness of a behavior or activity are independent of user attire and are instead based on the overall surrounding frame and context. This applies to embedded media videos. Also, thank you for the follow, Terry Rice. See, look at that. Even my bot does all sorts of things now. I love it here. So this policy applies to embedded media such as videos and what's it called? Yeah. Alerts and stuff. Augmented reality. That's us, VTubers and VR chat. Creative broadcasts, art, and the like, and channel content such as banners, profile images, emotes, and panels that focus on provocative images or video. So we know what this means. We all know what this means. We don't have to skirt around the bush. Like I mentioned, the Among Us twerk normally gets around this stuff because, simply put, it's a shit post and it's not lewd. But actual twerking emotes, no. I don't even know how you weren't following me either. Thank you, Twitch, for for snitching on my homie. Um, Content or a camera that focuses on breast, buttocks, or pelvic region, including poses that deliberately highlight these elements. I have another link for this actually, because I was looking at it earlier. Um, let's see if I can grab it because I think I retweeted it. Yes, I did. So we are going to move this over to the current video that we're using, right? So this was from Hexy Curse, who was tweeting this to actually let themselves know this. Also, I'm gonna turn up my light just a bit because, you know, so you can see me a bit more. But they were also, I should probably put on light mode, but I'm way too lazy for that, so we're not going to do that immediately. Oh wait, can I do it from here? Let's go to dim, right? Dim works. So we don't permit streamers to be partially nude, exposed to genitals or buttocks. The visual outlines of genitals when covered, broadcasting nude. So for those who present as women, we ask that you cover your nipples. So they show it. This is deliberately what this means. No nips, no areolas, no camel toe, and for guys, no bulge. This is exactly what this means. And for Twitch, if you see this, this is specifically for educational purposes and nothing further. So, for areas where the body coverage is required, the coverage must be fully opaque. Sheer or partially see-through clothing does not constitute as coverage. So we know what this means. We know what they're being concise with. We know what they're talking about. So anyway, fetishizing behavior or activity such as focusing on body parts for sexual gratification or ERP. We know what this means too. This is very clear cut. This also means no ERPing if you're playing FF14, haha, or VR chat, haha. And I know there are ERP bars, so if you go to ERP bars in FF14, we know we cannot be doing anything of the sort. If you're doing ERP bars, can't be on stream. Sorry, homies. You can go club hopping though, that's always dope. But you would probably have to unlist it or not even keep a VOD up. Right? But if you're gonna do that, I think YouTube allows you to do it, but you still have to mark it as mature, so you can't do it here. If you're not doing sex ed on Twitch, bottom text, I get to skip this. Erotic dances, such as those involving stripping or flashing. So we already know what this means. Blah blah blah, no twerking on stream. Pole dances or acrobatics with sexually suggestive framing. This doesn't mean that pole dancing is not allowed. This means that sexually suggestive pole dancing is not allowed. So pole dancing as a hobby or as a sport, yes. Sexually suggestive pole dancing, no. Posting or displaying or sharing erotica such as detailed descriptions of sex acts or pornography, no fanfics. No fanfics, no fan art, no 18 plus fan art, like I mentioned, none of that. Cut that shit out. Nudity in attire. Our goal is to set standards that allow you to elevate your content and express yourself in a variety of ways without exposing our global diverse community to inappropriate content. Let's be honest here. Twitch. Let's be honest here. I'm gonna need you to actually enforce these rules before you actually start saying them. I'm gonna be very, very clear. Enforce these rules before you start saying it. That is all. Anyway, moving forward. We already talked about this. We literally just went over this. So, augmented reality avatars that translate real life movement into digital characters are subject to this standard. This means that's us, VTubers. We are not immune to Twitch rules. They will slap us. Hard body. No lewd. Do not lewd yourself on stream. You know what happens. That is all. Contextual exceptions. Now, this one was a bit different. IRL streamers, they have to follow the body coverage expectations if you're an IRL streamer. Doesn't apply to us VTubers because we're not really streaming IRL. But everything else still applies to us because they still want us to follow the standard. Swim, beaches, concerts, and festivals. Properly cover yourselves. Bottom text. Right? So if you ever decide to do IRL streaming, cover yourself properly. Camera focus cannot be focused on you. They just said full coverage of the butt is not required. But camera focus still immediately fucks around with the rules. See-through or partially see-through swimwear, even when wet, does not qualify as covered. So make sure you're not wearing see-through swimwear. Just wanted to let y'all know that. Body art. Your stream's dedicated to body art. Pretty simple. You gotta cover the butts. You gotta cover the genitals. Gotta cover areola. You gotta cover nips. Right? So, bam. Streamers are given some leeway for making transitions between contexts with different limits of acceptable attire. So if you have swimwear underneath your like traditional clothing, so as long as it's opaque, you're fine. Streamers are expected to only spend as much time wearing insufficient attire as needed to add clothing or change off screen into clothing with the appropriate coverage for the new context. Meaning, you can change on stream, but it still has to be within guidelines. You still have to have the proper attire. You still can't show nips. You still can't show areola. You still can't show your genitals. Which also means no lacy attire if you're going to be doing this on stream. no lingerie. This automatically means no lingerie. Boom. Embedded media. Prohibited sexual games and content. In embedded media such as video games and images, nudity and pornography are prohibited. In some situations, you may make exceptions on Twitch-owned and operated channels for content that is rated by a body or otherwise by a ratings body or otherwise pre-screened by Twitch. So this is strictly on their rules and guidelines on what they already have approved for their stream. Prohibited sexual games and game modifications. Custom gameplay or visual modifications that include nudity or sexual content, including uncensored patches, otherwise allowed games are prohibited. No nude mods. Enough said. This also means for my fighting game players who are also VTubers, if you have any racy mods for your fighting games, take them off. Because if they see it, they could suspend you. Very important. You may not think it's important, but if you're watching this and you play fighting games and you have mods that can do that, take them off. Now, sexual content in permitted games. Focusing your broadcast around sexual content, blah, 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 with enforcement action against your Twitch account. That was just what I was saying. When interacting with in-game nudity or sexual content in a permitted game, such as The Witcher, users may only spend as much time as required to progress, meaning do not stop in the middle of your cutscenes. Proceed as normal. If you reach the end of your dialogue, move past the dialogue so that you can move to the next part of the scene, because I guarantee you it will get you in shit. They are not playing. They are making the line very well known at this point. And like I said, do not take this as an or situation. Take it as and or, meaning both. Do not see it as anything else. So obviously games like Grand Theft Auto has nudity in it. You can only be in the cutscene for a certain amount of time. This also means you can let the cutscene play out as intended, but you cannot pause the game or stop at a specific part of dialogue so that you continuously see the nudity or focus onto it, because they will hit you. I don't need to say any more on that subject. Games that primarily consist of user-generated content, in-game roleplay, or interactions in virtual reality are not exempt from this policy. Much like I said about VR chat, and much like I said about Final Fantasy XIV, you are not exempt from this rule. You can go into RP bars, you can do all that stuff. While 14 doesn't really have sexy dances, it does have sexually suggestive content, but their content is also covered up. So the problem, so like RP bars are like kind of a gray area, sort of, because you're allowed to stream FF14 on Twitch, but don't stream FF14 with mods. I'll tell you that, because I've seen some mods for FF14, and man, I've seen some mods for FF14. Woo lad. Right? I've seen some mods. Don't you worry. Me personally, my mod, like, I have mods on 14, but they're not like mods that can really get me banned. It's just mods that like improve how my character looks, like giving me a longer tail or putting tattoos on my character. They're not on as of this recent patch, but like that is what it is. I think that covers a decent amount of it, right? They're not going to go into the issues of clothing. They're going to make it more concise as things go by, but I think I've covered everything, right? So there's a decent amount of work that they did here. I thought it wouldn't be as concise, but it seems like Twitch really did their research on this part for the most of it. So, you know, my hats to you, Twitch. My hats to you. You actually did something good here. This is what happens when you have women a part of your stuff, and not just listening to guys who are pissed off, right? Because I know the male populace is really pissed off about having women and or femme passing people go off and do some nonsense, right? So now you know what the line. Now you know what the line is. Don't try to break these rules. Twitch is being very, very suggestive about this because, like we said, actually, I can probably reference this. So I'm gonna go back to Zach Bussy's Twitter, right? Because he mentions this. Like, he actually mentions this. Also, shout out to Zach. I've met him personally. Really cool guy. But yes. This also, the focusing on body parts thing, this also meant the ear licking ASMR stuff. Like, there's ASMR that is inherently sexual. Ear licking was inherently sexual, and therefore they said no. We've seen several people get banned for that. Several people. And like he said, and like I've mentioned, they don't explicitly make new rules, but it tells you what is allowed. And that's very important, right? That's very important, especially moving forward. Like, they're clarifying the line. But yes. So VR chat gets some of this, but VR chat is like definitely on there. ASMR is definitely getting hit the hardest. So people actually cannot be doing like ear licking and stuff like that on stream or moving with sexually suggestive content. They're gonna have to probably lock that shit behind the paywall or lock that shit behind like a Patreon or what have you. But no more, not on Twitch, because it will get you suspended, and obviously repeat offenses can probably get you banned or a longer suspension than you recently had. I spilled coffee on myself. Ah! Luckily, it wasn't too much. It was just a couple of drops. But I digress. Right? Here we go. Right here. Since the clarification occurred, dozens of ASMR streamers have been suspended for days, some indefinitely. It's had an impact, right? It's happened. It's actually happening. So you guys got to be careful. You know what this is, right? And like I said, and obviously clearly obvious, while I'm not an expert in Japanese sayings, I don't believe saying ara ara alone will result in a suspension of Twitch, because this was a meme for about a week and some people were, well, like half of you were legitimately serious. I want to say like some of you were kidding or half of you were kidding. No, a decent amount of you were decently, like, really serious about this. So yeah, don't trust that. No, ara ara does not get you banned. But yes, it can get you banned if you mean it sexually. So I think I've covered everything. And, you know, I do have a recording of this. So guess where this is going? My YouTube, because people don't exactly understand that. So, you know, they want a little explanation. I'm going to see if I can timestamp it. But, you know, it's very important that I I made that known, at least to the general populace, because now we have information. You have information. I have information. We all have information. You see, just a little bit of like knowledge makes us happy. Makes me happy. Right? Now, with all of that out of the way, I've now explained enough. With that being said, I'm going to be right back. I'm going to